In the early days of our nation, when the nights were dark and the streets were uncertain, a different kind of guardian stood watch. Citizens formed militias to fight fires and stop crime in towns and cities across America. They rolled out horse-drawn barrel carts, wore whatever clothes they had, and showed up when it counted, because the city needed them. Ben Franklin kicked it off in 1736, started a fire company in Philly, calling it the Union Fire Company. Not for money, just to protect people, because the militia was too slow to respond many times. By the mid-1800s, cities got serious. Cincinnati built the first paid fire department in 1853. No more bucket brigades, this was full-time. Horse-drawn steam engines, leather helmets, and firehouses with actual shifts. Training schools followed, because showing up wasn't enough. You had to know what you were doing to save lives. But fire wasn't the only problem. Its evil little cousin, crime, also wanted in on the chaos. Cities needed help keeping order. Boston stepped up in 1838 with the first real police department, followed by New York and Philadelphia. Before that, it was night watchmen, lantern patrols, and down south, slave patrols. That's part of the story too, and we don't skip the hard parts. Over time, departments grew more structured, with uniforms, ranks, and rules. Some wore the badge to protect, some didn't, but the idea was simple: keep order, respond to chaos, and stand between danger and the people. While some protected the citizens from fire or from crime, others made sure those who needed medical care also showed up as well. During the Civil War, Army medics built the first organized system to triage and evacuate the wounded. In 1865, Cincinnati launched the first city-ran ambulance service. By the early 1900s, hospitals ran ambulances, but most drivers had no medical training. It wasn't until the 1960s that paramedics became a real thing. Miami and Seattle led the way with programs that trained responders to treat patients before they got to the hospital. By the 1970s, EMT certification and the 911 system made medical the third pillar of the first responders, right alongside fire and police. Today, when the bell rings or the badge flashes, we honor the ones who run toward the danger. They show up for fires, floods, car wrecks, riots, and the calls nobody wants to take. They don't just serve, they stand silently, guarding, watching, and protecting. So on National First Responders Day, we don't just say thank you for your selfless dedication, service, and commitment. We remember, we honor, because when the siren goes off, they answer. Firefighters, police, and medics alike. And when the smoke clears, they're still there. Not for glory, not for attention, not for medals or rewards, just because someone has to be America's silent guardian. This has been Doberdin History, where legacy is told one story at a time. See you next time. If you liked today's video, give it a like. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss what's next. And thanks for being part of Doberdin History, where history is remembered even if others have forgotten.